Today I'm going to show you how the web actually works, because all of us use web every day, but some people don't know how it works. So I'm going to show you today. Step 1, I'm going to start with the URL and DNS, because when you type maybe example.com on a browser, we call it domain name, and it is stored in the domain name system. So this thing, it actually sends a website URL into the browser, and it breaks it down into protocol, domain, and path, which are the three parts that it will break it to. Then it will ask the DNS, which is basically the internet notebook, the DNS, domain name system, to translate the domain name into an IP address, maybe the IP address of the domain name. Like Google now, you can check it. Let's check the Google one. If you are using terminal, you can use terminal on your Mac, you can use Windows Share on your Windows. So let's check for the Facebook post. Facebook. Yes, this is the Facebook IP address, the IPv4 address, here it is, the IPv6, here it is. So this is the IP address that it will check inside the domain name. So let's get back to work. And before we get back to that, if you want to check it on your Windows Share, you are not going to use host, you are going to use NSLookup, browser and the server. Now the browser connects to the server using that IP address, that is the IP address that the domain name fetched, and it sends a request. So the server receives that request, runs the backend logic, talks to the database, and then send a response back. That is, the server receives that IP address, it runs the backend and talks to the database, that is all the information in the database, and then send the response back. Once it passes the HTML, applies the CSS, execute the JavaScript, and render the web page you see. I don't know if you have encountered some situation whereby you will only see the HTML and you will not see the CSS. It happens like that sometimes, maybe when the web page is slow. So your browser is a client, either Chrome, Firefox, Edge. They send HTTP request, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, receive the response, passes the HTML, applies the CSS, and runs the JavaScript. So the response they receive, they passes it, applies the CSS, and runs the JavaScript to make the web page functional. And the server is a machine running 24/7. It listens for requests, processes logic, and sends response. This can be Node, this can be the Django, this can be JavaScript. Hypertext Transfer Protocol is the protocol that defines how browser and server talks. Request contain method, URL, headers, and body. Response contains status code, headers, and body. You open a login page, browser sends a GET request, server sends HTML. When you submit a form, browser sends the POST request, server validates data, server sends a response. That's it. You submit a form, because in HTML we usually define our form tag with action, maybe get or post. In form we usually use post. So browser sends the post request, server validates the data, and server sends the response. Why does this matter? This is how the front end and back end actually connect. If you understand this, you debug faster, build better apps, and ace interface. We are done for today. Thanks for watching. We are going to meet in the next class, where I will talk about the web basics, starting from HTML.